keep swinging from wanting to be with my partner and feeling in love to thinking it isn't enough for me and what I want. I have no idea if it's my attachment system or if I don't want to be with him. It's odd because if I let this mood push things into an argument, which I've often done, I will feel loved up again after almost losing him. Why do I only feel in love once my attachment system is activated or has been activated and is calming down? We had a great week last week after almost splitting up because I was picking on things constantly. Then I begged and said I was sorry. So last week was perfect, and now the picky mood has come back. There has been no rows or issues. I just feel like I don't want it again, but I know if I lost him, I'd be devastated because anytime it almost happens, I'm a mess. He really looks after me. He's definitely a bit avoidant, but it works so hard at it at the same time. I ask for more affection and he gives me more. I ask for more interaction, so he works hard to give me more. Intimacy needs aren't as high as mine, but does his best to fill the gap. I need some advice, please. What's going on? It's like, unless we are on a knife edge, I can't be happy or fulfilled. Okay, so this is a juicy question. There's a couple of things here. So I keep swinging from wanting to be with my partner and feeling in love to thinking it isn't enough for me and what I want. So that's kind of a defense mechanism. You also mentioned that when things are going well and there's sort of an even keel, there's this desire to create drama in the relationship and want to push them away, so that there's sort of a level of stimulation that you experience. And this has a lot to do with early attachment wounding. So that they talk about this as like neurons that fire together, wire together. But if you have experienced in your life that love is best demonstrated through conflict, and that is evidence of love, then you have a tendency to want to generate conflict in your relationships. And then also beneath that, when you sometimes start to feel, I guess, sometimes it's thought of as bored, or you think, I don't know what I really liked about them anyway. That's kind of a defense that gets layered on top of feelings of like, I don't know if I'm worthy, or am I good enough, or if I let this ride out, then my partner is just going to get bored with me, or they're going to think that I'm not good enough. And so you start to tell yourself that that you don't want this and that you're going to push it away before they can push you away, right? Also, picking fights and things like that. Usually conflict and picking fights and things like that is trying to create distance so that you don't feel so intolerably vulnerable. And also asking yourself, I don't know if I'm really wanting this or if I'm really in love with this person. Why is it that I'm only fulfilled when I'm in conflict? To be honest, it's really hard to know if you are, because you're not so sure about who you are and you're not so sure about your feelings. And so when we're not sure about who we are and what we want and what we like, and making discerning decisions about what we're calling in partnership and the real vision of what it is that we want in partnership, you're not showing up authentically in the relationship as well. So if you don't know you, how is your partner supposed to know you? And if you don't know you, how do you know that you really know your partner? So, so you're identifying in this statement that you've identified positive things about him. You've identified positive things about the relationship. You kind of described him as being avoidant, but then you say that you have high intimacy needs, but then when you get them met, you feel unfulfilled and you want to push your partner away. So, it sounds like your intimacy needs aren't necessarily high. It sounds like your intimacy needs may be a little bit confused. And it sounds like, he's also there for some reason, right? So there's something in you that's being mirrored in him, and there's probably something in him that's being mirrored in you. So questions you really want to ask yourself is, how is this pattern that I am caught in serving me? It's serving you in some way, or you wouldn't be in it. How is it serving me? And once you realize how it's serving you, and my guess would be that you are ultimately being protected from having a true sense of vulnerability and intimacy in the relationship, because anytime you get close to everyday calm waters, routine sort of interactions, you feel like you need to rock the boat. So it sounds like the pattern is actually preventing real intimacy. So if you have high intimacy needs, but you're doing things to prevent real intimacy, then you got to start getting in touch with yourself, and you got to start figuring out, how is this pattern serving you? Because it's most likely the result of it's a fear-based pattern. So the fear is serving you in some way, right? Fear protects us from something. But if you think about what is on the other side of fear, that's typically a desire. And part of the challenge is learning how to stop running away from fear and start moving towards your desire, right?